And there we go to get things started off for us. Good evening, football fans, and welcome back to Friday Night Football live on 810varsity.com. My name is Sean Brew. I'm working alongside two of the best in the biz, and Jonathan, classic, and David Trimble. Friends, it's so great to have you back with us on what can only be called a slightly warm evening here at Rockhurst High School. It's a battle of two teams in the 810 varsity top 10. The home team, the Hawklets of Rockhurst, are ranked number 6, and the visiting Jaguars out of Ray-Pec come in with that number 9 ranking. Now, the Jaguars of Ray-Pec High School, they come in with a roster absolutely loaded with Saturday talent, including top 50 recruit and Georgia Bulldog commit Jaden Riddell. He's listed as one of the, if not the top tight end in the class of 2024. Kirby Smart and the staff down in Athens cannot wait to get the big 6'6" fella on campus. These Jaguars will be more than explosive on offense. Last year, Ray-Pec averaged over 32 points. Beg your pardon, Panthers. Jaguars, Panthers. Yeah. I'm thinking of, Cowboys and Niners. We have the big Trey Lance trade. Breaking news here on 810 Varsity. Trey Lance traded to the Cowboys. But, hey, more on that later because we will talk about that later in the broadcast.
Emphasis on more on, yeah.
Right. But the Panthers, not those Jaguars, but the Panthers of Ray-Pec. They come into the roster loaded with that talent, and as the aforementioned Jaden Riddell, they averaged over 32 points per game last year and scored more than 40 points 5 times. The only problem, they gave up an average of 38 points a game. Yep. They will look to start anew tonight against the Hawklets of Rockhurst High. Jonathan Pulaski, you're what many would call kind of an expert on all things Rockhurst football.
Sure.
So tell us about these Hawklets, what you've seen over the past couple of years, and kind of what we should expect here tonight and the rest of the season.
Yeah, Sean, it's one of those realities that these kids were not good the last 2 years, at least not as good as Rockhurst is used to being. Year one for Coach Donahoe was a lot of these kids' sophomore years, and so he came in, and I think he essentially reset the button, and he said, all right, this is now my team. This is who we're going to run with. Those kids are now seniors in high school. This is game one of Ethan Hansen, one of those guys. They have 10 of 11 starters on offense that are seniors, and I think that's truly going to show. As Rockhurst likes to mix it up a little bit between the run and the pass, Miles Carson on the outside has been tremendous over the past couple of years, turning into that number one threat on the outside. And then you have Aiden Ryan, again, a 2-year starter at the running back position. Only got a little bit of run in that year one with Donahoe, but now he is the undisputed number one in that backfield. But I just wanted to bring one thing to you, Sean. Whenever I was down on the sideline in pregame, Ethan Hansen was swagger walking like I've never seen a high schooler, and now he is warming up closest to us on the sideline. He's throwing like 95 miles an hour to a high school football. I think he's a little bit excited to get this year going.
One would say that maybe he has a little bit of mustard on that. We're going to talk about mustard later in the broadcast, but mustard like maybe Trey Lance. But I am not bitter. I'm not bitter.
We're going to get you through this.
My goodness. Folks, I beg your pardon. We're just getting that information in, and as a lifelong 49er fan, I understand. Well, we're just going to put a pin on that, as they say. But, Jonathan, you make a great point. This senior-laden roster that we're going to see here for Rockhurst, looking up and down. I mean, we talk about Jaden Riddell over on the Ray-Pec sidelines, but, hey, newsflash. These Hawklets of Rockhurst, they've got some Division I talent as well.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Andrew Sprague, you can see him. He's one of the 4 captains out there, and he is going to be a Wolverine at the University of Michigan next year. He stands at a very small being a joke, 6'8", 275 pounds. He'll be the left tackle, again, a 3-year starter, one of those guys that they built around here. And he also, it's intriguing, he's listed as a backup defensive end. I'm wondering if any time tonight Coach Donahoe's like, hey, Andrew, let's go get after the quarterback, but we'll see.
And, I'm glad you brought that up because, of course, the heat's going to be a tremendous factor on both of these rosters. It affects both teams the same way. Looking up and down the roster for Rockhurst, there are a number of players that are already slotted to play both ways. Not as many for Ray-Pec. They're looking at possibly kind of relying on some of their their senior leadership, although not very experienced. As I said a little while ago, they come in trying to rebuild on defense. They don't have a lot of experience, but they absolutely do have a lot of talent, and that starts with big number 33, Patrick Martin. And if you're familiar with that Martin name, well, for good reason, Sean Martin, the head coach of Ray-Pec, his son Patrick, he was a 2022 academic All-State member, 97 tackles last season, only second behind Jalen Nevins, who took his talents to Missouri S&T. But this defense, if they can get on track, they certainly have the athletes to get it done and give this Hawklet team a little bit of trouble tonight, Jonathan.
Yeah, Sean, I would argue, and I know that there's a big number 1 versus number 2 matchup over on 8:10 a.m. tonight with Liberty North and Lee Summit North, and that's all exciting and stuff. But I would argue that this atmosphere is targeting the upper echelon of where they could be at over there, if not tipping over the edge. At this point, I don't see an empty seat in the building, and I was standing right next to the Rockhurst student section as they were coming in. It was electric. It's going to be unreal.
You know, here I am looking at my watch. It's 92 degrees ambient temperature here. I was thinking as I was driving over here, I'm thinking, what are we going to get? Are we going to get a couple hundred people in the stands, or are most people going to be watching us on 810varsity.com? And we appreciate those of you that are staying at home and watching us. But you're exactly right, Jonathan. It's going to be about a standing room only. And in fact, down here in the student section, it is standing room only. And on the far side for the Panthers of Ray-Pec, not too many empty seats there in the aluminum stands.
Yeah, this is maybe the second time that I've seen these stands completely full. Last time was the Catholic Clash last year against Bishop Miege, or 2 years ago, excuse me. This is, again, the opener, the home opener, and the fans can feel it.
Well, we are moments away from getting things started here at Rockhurst High School in South Kansas City, Missouri. In fact, we're about 16 seconds on the game clock. But these players, they are ready. They are standing at attention. Not too many people are sitting in the stands here, Jonathan, and we're going to have one heck of a game for you to start things out for Football Friday on 810 Varsity. Well, and runt. I don't know if we have any of the sound effects, David Trimble, but yeah, how about that?
You know what? I think that just accurately represented what you felt going into the broadcast. 49ers lose Trey Lance to my Dallas Cowboys. We're going to get that out there early so I don't feel bad about it.
Just get it out there.
There was no false start. We're just going to redo it.
Just going to redo it.
For fun.
So back deep for the Hawklets. Going to be Mason Tunley and Micah Oder. Of course, Mike Oder, the son of longtime coach, legendary coach on both the Kansas and Missouri sides, Greg Oder, who's now an assistant for Coach Terry Dono. In fact, Terry told me a couple of days ago that he was the first call that he made when he took the job 3 years ago, well, now 4, here at Rockhurst High School. So let's do it again, partner.
Yeah.
Moments away from kickoff. Ray-Pec and their road whites, they're going to be going from left to right on your screen. Of course, the Hawklets of Rockhurst, and we see Oder taking it back at the 10-15. He's got a little bit of a streak up to 21-yard line. And that's where Rockhurst is going to start at 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line here in the first quarter, just underway here at Rockhurst High.
Yeah, this is going to be our first chance to see Ethan Hansen tonight. Again, is a 6'1", 180-pound senior. Threw for over 1,000 yards last year, 400 rush yards, 9 touchdowns through the air. And he is one of those guys, again, he's been the leader since he stepped on campus in week 2 2 years ago, and he's going to be under center to start this one off, Sean.
Evan Hansen out of the I formation. You got Ryan, I believe you have, is that Fisher, top of the I. They're going to give it off to Aiden Ryan. Has a little bit of a seam on the left side out to around the 26-yard line. It's going to bring up second and about, I'll call it a long 5, possibly 6.
Yeah, and Rockhurst early on, I feel like the juxtaposition of these two teams is going to be really fun tonight. Again, it's extremely hot, but whenever you're talking about running behind a high-class, arguably one of the best players in the 8-10 viewing area, Andrew Sprague at that left tackle, getting to 4.5 early.
That is Thomas Coppinger, I beg your pardon. And there's a little bit of laundry on the field already before the third play from scrimmage. What was that word you said? Juxtaposition.
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 Yes.
goodness.
Yeah, Sean, I like bringing the A game early.
I'm just going to put the headset down right now and just walk away.
Well, I said whenever I got into calling sports is that my mother-in-law, who's a longtime English teacher, now retired, she loves the big words, and I'm going to give it to her every single broadcast.
Well, let's see what the Hawklet's going to give us here on second down, second and short. A little pitch out to Ryan. Another nice little gain. That one a gain of about 2 yards. Going to bring up third and short from around the 32-yard line of Rock.
Oh, I think they're just going to squeak through it. Yeah.
They heard me say that and said, no, not so fast up there.
Yeah, move the chains. An opening first down, it's got to feel good. Again, I feel like the momentum of the night is going to be, as the weather starts to cool down, who still has the energy to push through. Obviously, the adrenaline early, we'll see.
First and 10, Rock from their own 32-yard line. Out of the eye, twin receivers to the near side. Hansen going to drop back, wants to throw. He's got one out here in the flat. 14 out to the 43-yard line before he's pushed out. Pushed out by number 7. That was Tanner Franklin, one of the standout linebackers for the Panthers.
Yeah, Mason Tumley there on the reception. Just a simple check down. Hansen likes getting out on the move, so rolling to his left, it's a challenging one to start. But again, that corner dropped way back into cover 4, and then that left Tumley wide open for back-to-back first downs.
So we mentioned the defense for Ray-Peck. Looking to turn their fortunes around this year. They didn't have, as you said about Rockhurst offensively, they weren't really good, and no other way to look at it. And so far, there's a nice stop by the Panthers. That's going to be another tackle by Tanner Franklin. He has 3 so far here early with 10-11 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Franklin, one of those guys that you look at the chart and you're like, okay, he's listed at 5'9", 170. What he doesn't make up for in size, he makes up for in the heart, clearly. 88 tackles a year ago, and he's off to a good start with 3 early on. I think he might blow the 88 out of the water, but it's a long season.
Right. 2 interceptions last year as well. But, 5'9", 170. I think the technical term is muscle hamster. Out of the shotgun, going to keep it himself. That's Hansen. He's got some room up to midfield and then beyond, down to the 46-yard line. That's going to be another first down for Rock.
I mean, it's your just traditional speed option left. You have Andrew Sprague over there at 6'8". You follow right behind him. The guy makes the read, clearly taking Aiden Ryan on that. And then, honestly, if it wasn't for Javen Johnson out of the defensive backfield for Ray-Peck, he's dancing for 6.
Now, if you'd like to kind of watch the battle, the Trenchman battle, and I'm glad you brought up Sprague's name, because as you watch him down there in the line, the amount of displacement that he can displace is quite impressive. He is double or triple teamed, and he just clears the way. Now, of course, that time he stepped into the right to take on the linebacker, and the other linebacker came in and made the tackle, but he's just a big boy. Covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, he does. And, I mean, you spoke about Patrick Martin a little bit in the pregame. There he was coming from the backside to make that tackle. You can clearly see he's one of those guys that from the defensive end position is going to be a big factor tonight, and I think we're seeing them get settled in a little bit with 8:40 to go.
Second and 10 from the 46-yard line of the Panthers. Another throw, this one out to the right side. Aiden Ryan getting it done on the ground and through the air. Short gain of about 4. It's going to bring up third and 7. Third and 6, third and 7 from the 43-yard line of the Panthers.
And this is where at least the past couple seasons, whenever I've seen Rockhurst in person, this is where Coach Donahoe thinks he has 2 downs to get the first down. There's no way he's going to try and get the set. I mean, he can, but he knows he has 2 downs. This is not a punt situation in his mind. So he's got 7 yards to go with 2 plays to do it.
And most likely not in the range of the field goal kicker, I think is what you're saying as well.
Yes, absolutely.
No 60-yard field goals. And a little pitch out again to Ryan. And nice tackle, upended. I think that was number 1. That was Javen Johnson, the aforementioned Javen Johnson, the 6'1", 170-pound senior, getting it done for the Panthers.
It's always interesting to see how week 1 starts to work out for these teams, again, as the offense stays on the field, but where those leaders kind of sprout up. And if you're Coach Sean Martin right now, you're like, oh, I love how Javen is playing, but a big 4th down here early.
And this is one of those plays that can be certainly a force multiplier for the Panthers. Let's see what Coach Donahoe, yeah, that's going to be a little pooch kick by Hansen, and that's going to maybe will be a touchback. Couldn't quite get it kicked back out. That was Jack Bickelmeyer, big 6'5" frame. Couldn't quite bring it back. So next we're going to see what the Panthers have for us on offense. We'll have our first look, of the sophomore sensation, and that's DeZephan Walker as well as Jaden Riddell, Gavin Oliver, and crew. And we're coming right back on 810varsity.com.
Personnel are allowed on the football field or on the track. All spectators should remain outside the gated area around the field. Approved media and photographers.
Biscuits and taquitos and breakfast on a bun. Those are just a few of the things you can make a part of your morning routine at Whataburger. Then again, with so many choices, you could make a routine of not having a routine. But would not having a routine still be a routine? Chew on that for a while. Whataburger breakfast, just like you like it.
7:11 left to play in the first. No score between Panthers and the Hawklets. Ray-Pec now 1st and 10 from their own 20. A little shift out here on the near side. Twin receiver sets. There's the sophomore sensation. DeZephan Walker. What an interesting story this is. Now, if you didn't have the stats, we just said, he's a 6-foot sophomore, Jonathan Plassick. He can run a 4.3 40.
That's pretty good.
Not too bad, but you'd say, that just can't be. I mean, talk about just a kind of an establishment of riches over there for the Panthers. They have the top tight end in the, if not the state, certainly if not the nation, certainly in the state. Now they got a sophomore, and boy, does he have some get up and goes. First down carry to the left side all the way out to the 32.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the, I would call it rawness, simply because he is the type of player that, again, he can get up and go. But he's going to the left side of that line. Just keep an eye on it throughout the night. He has that ball tucked in his right arm. And these Rockhurst defenders have been around the block a couple times. They know how to strip that ball out, especially if it's on the side where they're at. It's just something to keep an eye on, but a first down nonetheless for the Panthers.
7 fumbles for the Panthers last year. Another handoff. 3rd in a row goes to Walker. He's got a little bit of jiggle out to the 50-yard line to midfield. And the Panthers are going to have it 1st and 10, if not in Rockhurst territory, awfully close to it.
Yeah, I mean, he's 3 carries and 24 yards. Yeah, okay, so they're going to mark him just short at the 48-yard line of their own. But, I mean, again, he looks deceiving from up here. That's the thing. I thought Tommy Coppinger got into the backfield if you're Rockhurst. Instead, able to slip through and pick up 16 on that backside over there.
Jonathan, you mentioned something about the defensive alignment that we're seeing out of Rockhurst tonight. A little bit different than in years past. Yeah,
3-3-5. I mean, you have 5 guys out there in the secondary, and I think this is mainly because the speed in the backfield. And obviously, whenever you're dealing with the number 1 tight ends, but 4 straight carries to start. I mean, when do you go to the air? Do you need to?
Do you need to, or when do you pull up one of those safeties or corners and turn them into a linebacker there in the middle? But so far, Coach Donahoe just going to rely on his defense to get the job done. But so far, DeZephan Walker started at his own 20, and he's responsible for all, let's see what that would be, 35 yards. First and, I beg your pardon, that's 2nd and 3 from the 44-yard line, and he finally gets stood up. And I think that time they did bring an extra linebacker in to try to plug up the middle a little bit.
Yeah, and that was, believe it or not, they had to bring in Lane Jensen for that carry. 4 straight carries for Walker, and he had to go off to the sideline, get a breather real quick, bring in the backup. So that, I mean, a little different look, brings up 3rd and 3. But, again, this temperature plus running somebody a lot. Here he comes back onto the field for 3rd down. But it's important to see how a sophomore, again, getting some action tonight, how he's going to be able to do it.
With 5:18 left in the first quarter, officials are going to call a timeout, get these players a little bit of a refreshment, take their helmets off, kind of air out the helmets somewhat, and just take a little bit of a break, and we're going to do the same here on a10varsity.com. No score between Ray-Pec and Rockhurst. 5:18 left in the first. We'll be right back.
Brings up third down and 2 at the 44.
Right back with you. 3rd and 2. 5:18 left in the first quarter. Big third down play for Ray-Pec. Out of the shotgun, handoff. Might have just got enough, Jonathan Plasek. You can't really see, but Rockhurst says that there was a fumble and they recovered.
Yeah, ball might have come out there at the end, and it did.
As if the crowd noise was an indicator enough, Rockhurst with the turnover, 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. I beg your pardon, the 42-yard line of Rockhurst for their second series of this contest.
I mean, I think it was Jeb Ketting that came out from underneath the linebacker. Again, there was a lot of Rockhurst Hawklets down there at the bottom. You don't want to attribute it to the ball carrying yet. Again, the thing is, it's 100 degrees outside almost, and you just got a water break. All of your gloves, your forearms, everything's sweating. So, I mean, again, this is not going to be an easy ball control type game. It's not like it's mid-October. Again, these guys are working hard out there, already having to take a break. Those referees keeping those kids safe out there early.
David Trimble here on the production telling us that his eyeballs were sweating moments ago. There's Hansen dropping back. Plenty of time. Rolls out to his right, looking for a little bit of help. Nobody coming back, so he's going to get rid of that. He had a couple of receivers way downfield, but they didn't come back to give him any help, so he just said, hey, I'm going to get rid of it and live to fight another day.
Yeah, I mean, Hansen is one of those guys, he had good protection there, but it seemed like the route concept was, hey, we just got a turnover, let's go for their throat early. And they had two guys out, Mason Tunley and Miles Carson, who are their deep threats. Good coverage on the back end for Ray-Pec, and so it's second down, no harm, no foul.
2nd and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Single receiver to the far, single to the near. Offset eye, Hansen again wants to throw. He's got a receiver over the right side. Big number 12. And that is, well, I beg your pardon. According to or was that number 13?
Yeah.
That's Miles Carson.
Yeah.
The big 6'3", 190 senior.
Miles Carson, again, he's that deep threat. He's going to be the guy that they go to on the regular. And last year, again, 26 receptions, 360 yards through the air, 5 touchdowns. So they're leader through the air, and he's, again, kind of poised to have one of those big seasons on the outside.
Andrew Sprague gets a lot of the attention, and rightfully so, but I also want to point out big Luke Llewellyn, the 6'5", 270 right tackle, clearing the way. And he did clear the way a little bit, but a couple of linebackers got around, makes the stop in the backfield. Going to be a loss of 2.
Yeah, Elijah Cook getting in there. I mean, this is one of those teams where you're saying they're trying to get better from last year, right? You have guys that have gotten experience, new guys coming in that are maybe a little bit fresh to this defense. So far, so good. Elijah Cook coming in. The 5'10", 175-pound junior comes in to make the tackle there. They're looking good so far. It's a second down and 10. This is kind of where Rockhurst stalled out last time, so we'll see if they can kind of get past that 35-yard line.
Under center is Hansen. Takes it, fakes the pitch, rolls out to his left. He's got a receiver down on the 15. He's going to keep it himself, gets knocked out of bounds, and a big block. If you saw that, Vince White lays the wood to the defender.
And that's not a small defender either.
It's not a small defender. You know, sometimes when it's kind of far away from it wasn't that far away from the play. And certainly, it wasn't, one of those illegal hits by any means, but that certainly woke him up a little bit.
I mean, that Ray-Pec defense, mad props to them. The fake pitch, again, Rockhurst does that so well. And one-on-one defense the entire way. Hansen only able to pick up 2, so 3rd down and 9 upcoming.
4:11 left here in the first. Single receiver to the top, single to the bottom. Here goes Hansen. Rolls out to his right again. He's got a receiver. Is that Vince White on the far side? believe it was.
Yes.
Last two plays been the Vince White show.
I mean, and Tanner Franklin, again, for Ray-Pec, showing up in big ways. He's out there. He is giving up 7 inches of height and 50 pounds worth of weight to Vince White. And he makes an open field tackle, takes out the knee, and brings up a 4th down. Again, cannot be more impressed by Tanner Franklin early on.
4th and 7 from around the 40-yard line of the Panthers. We'll see if they try to draw them off sides, get some of that yardage back. You're going to need that and a little bit more. Looks like Coach Donahue's going to say, hey, let's take a second, pull out the charge card. Charge a timeout at the 3:25 mark, left in the first quarter. No score between Raymore-Peculiar and Rockhurst, and you are watching it live only on 810varsity.com.
Timeout Rockhurst. It's the Hawkers' first charge timeout of the half. Corvinelli, a Kansas City-based national law firm with more than 950 lawyers. And go Huckler. Wiser Energy Advisors for more than 35 years, skillfully managing every aspect of upstream energy investing, from prospect to production to profit. Proudly supporting Rockhurst High School athletics since 2008.
Unofficial attendance here at Rockhurst High, Severino Field. 3,412. 3,412. And folks, I can tell you this, they're still coming in.
Yeah.
They're hearing us on 810 Varsity saying, hey, are there really that many people out there? It's 91 degrees. Give me some of that action. And they are certainly flowing in.
Yeah. I mean, and not a better time to come in. Trip set left for a 4th down and 6.
Interesting formation. First time we've seen this out of Rockhurst tonight. 4th and 7 from the 40-yard line. Rolling out to the left, Hansen. He's got a receiver. That's number 5 down to the 32-30. He's got the first down. That is Jack Bickelmeyer using that big old 6'5" frame to get that. He kind of gutted that play. He got another 3 or 4 yards. I think he probably would have been just shy of the first down if not for that second effort.
Yeah, I mean, that is, in my opinion, that's the best play of the night so far. Simply because he was stopped. He would have been close, but then his teammates got in there, and there's a huge momentum boost when you see a guy run through 2 defenders, a 3rd defender, then guys come along. Big first down pickup there for Rockhurst.
Look at some of the body language as well from the teammates, giving him the congratulatory pats on the behind. Here's Hansen. He's got a hole. 20, 15, 10. Kind of zigzags around and into the end zone. Touchdown, Rockhurst. Touchdown, Evan Hansen.
I mean, we talk all the time about Andrew Sprague, the Michigan Wolverine, but let's take our hat off to Jack Manning and Charlie Gormson, the left guard and the center, opening it up, and Hansen untouched for that touchdown 30 yards out, and what a way to start the scoring on the evening.
First scoring of the season for both teams, 6-0 at the 2:45 mark. The extra point attempt is coming from Logan Keithler.
Indeed.
Keithler. Good hold. The kick is up and through. Makes it 7. 2:45 left in the first. 7-0 Rock over Ray-Pec. And you're watching it live on 810varsity.com.
Hungry? Well, after the game, head to Charlie Hooper's in Brookside or Lou's in Waldo for delicious eats and refreshing cocktails. Open until 3 a.m. daily with full menu until 2 a.m. Sarpino's Pizzeria reminds you to ride early for the game and stay up late and order Sarpino's, serving real Italian gourmet pizza. Share with friends and family and celebrate the big win. Go Sarpinos.com and rock skate. I'd like to remind our visiting fans from Ray-Pec, the restrooms are located on the south end of the Hawkwood Center. That is the building in the west end zone.
Welcome back. 2:45 left in the first quarter. 7-0. Rock goes up after an Evan Hansen scamper on a first down play from, what was it, about the 38-yard line of the Panthers to get the scoring started. First score for either team, and this just in, David Trimble told me that both of these teams come in undefeated this season.
You can only use that once.
I guess so.
Well, maybe. We got some good teams around here.
Long kick, and that one is, oh my.
Uh-oh.
And look, you feel sorry for the return man.
Uh-oh.
He's trying to plead his case that the momentum took him out of bounds, but it really does not matter.
Yeah, I'm going to look at this one. I'm watching us. They're going to get together and have a conversation about it, but it's just.
What are you seeing there, partner?
I mean, it's. It looked like he was in bounds whenever he got it. So.
Yeah, they're going
to have it at the 1.
It's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 1-yard line. Panthers only have 99 yards to go to even this score up. 2:43 left in the first.
I mean, that's just an unforced error.
Right.
That's early season, week 1. Luckily, if you're Ray-Pec right now, you have a great tight end, a great running back, great quarterback. See if they can march it down.
Jaden Riddell hasn't been active so far offensively. Certainly have had to account for him. But another run, that time to the right side by DeZephan Walker. He has been the bell cow so far for the Panthers.
When you end up at the 1-yard line, typically you'd think this is after a punt of some sort and they pin them down. Instead, this was unforced error. This is where if you're first starter Gavin Oliver back there in the backfield, this is where things are a little bit more tense on the 2nd and 8.
Oliver over the left side, pass complete, enough for a first down, a little bit more, out to the 22-yard line. Big pickup, 18 yards, 1st and 10, Ray-Pec, all the way out to the 20.
Yeah, that's Riddell. I mean, there's that man. He is the Georgia commit, standing at 6'6", 245. That's who you got to go to in that situation. A pickup of 18, all of a sudden there's breathing room.
He's a big boy. That is the first pass completion of the evening for the Panthers out of Ray-Pec. Let's see if that's going to be just kind of the recipe that they need to get something going on offense. 1st and 10. Walker, offset eye. He gets the carry left side. Punches it through, about 2-yard gain. Going to bring up 2nd and 8. Going to spot the ball around the 22-yard line of the Panthers.
It seems like the matchup that's all of a sudden I'm going to start watching is, again, that's Riddell over there, the tight end, the Georgia commit. That's going to be against Mason Tunley, 14 for Rockhurst. He's playing that right side over closer to the Ray-Pec sideline. He's got some looks right now at the next level, but again, this is a great tape to throw on back. This is against the best tight end in the country.
2nd and 6 from the 24. Another handoff to Walker. Left side again. Punches it for about another 2-yard gain, maybe 3. Going to bring up 3rd and 6. Spot the ball around the 27, 26-yard line. 42 seconds left to play in the first. 7-0 is the score. Rockhurst up over the visiting Panthers out of Raymore-Peculiar High.
We're only seeing a few hands on the hips right now. It's, shocking how hot it is, and they're not all just bent over.
And that just up here in the press box.
Yeah, no kidding.
There's Oliver. Another handoff, this time to the left side, and they sniff that out in a hurry. Big stop. Big number 6. That is, are they going to call that one, partner?
I'll say Vince White, I think, was the one that came in to make the tackle. Micah Oder's there, but, I mean, I think Vince White is the guy. And, again, he's kind of hobbling off right now.
Indeed he is, yeah.
It's going to be 4th down, and I think they're going to get water breaks for all the guys out there. But, again, it's Vince White making the huge one out there. Big stop. And, you know, again, for a drive that started at the 1-yard line, you might take this as a field position swap into the first quarter.
And we're going to take a quick water break. We're going to wet our own whistles up here in the press box. We're going to be right back with you. You were watching it live. Ray Peck and Rockhurst. Rockhurst up by 7-0 into first.
Excited to partner with Rockhurst. Visit us at VanTrustRealEstate.com today to learn more and go Hawkleys. The Rockhurst swim and dive team, the Aquahawks, are the 3-time defending state champions. They start their 2023 season tomorrow morning with the South Rock Invitational hosted at the Blue Springs South Aquatic Center beginning at 8 a.m. Good luck, Aquahawks. As we get in the second quarter, the 22-8 Edwards back.
And welcome back. We left the first quarter with the score of 7-0. As we start the second, same score of 7-0. Ray Peck with the ball from their own 25-yard line. And, boy, that one just got away. He was coming, was Aiden Ryan. Fair catch called back on the 42-yard line of the Hawklets. And that's where they're going to take over for their third drive of the game, leading by 7. And, boy, I tell you, if you're Coach Donahoe, you got to feel pretty good about your offense, but also your defense.
Yeah, I mean, so far, so good. You're winning the turnover battle, right? It's 1-0 turnover battle. You're winning really in possessions now at this point. So this will be the third possession for Rockhurst. You can say winning, but, you know, all in the same. 7-0. Ethan Hansen is, again, probably flying off the charts right now. And this offense is feeling confident. Whenever you have guys on the other side that are maybe a little bit tired, a little bit depleted after the first scoring drive, we'll see if Rockhurst can go out and throw that next punch.
1st and 10 Rock from their own 40-yard line. To the left of Hansen is Ryan. Hansen going to throw it. He's got a receiver. That's big number 13, Miles Carson, who catches it right around midfield. Going to be just shy of a first down.
I mean, it's just a tough assignment. The whole night, Lou Wright is going to be dealing with Miles Carson, who, like I said, is that guy that Ethan Hansen trusts and knows that's a downfield threat. I'm sure throughout the year we'll see Mason Tunley get more looks, but that is his guy, Miles Carson, and it shows up there, bringing up a 2nd down and short.
Lou Wright for the Panthers, the 6', 175 senior, 3 interceptions last year, fumble recovery, 60 tackles. He's a Grandview University recruit as well as some others in the area. There's Ryan. He gets the first down into Ray Peck territory. Flag on the play. We got helmets off. We got flags on the carpet. Official timeout as they sort this one out.
Yeah, so the helmet came off of Alex Suarez. We'll see Gene Miller.
That's going to be a hold call against Rockhurst. Well, did he complete the motion?
I don't know.
He looked like he was bringing that arm down.
What a pump fake.
Right. Well, let's see. Are they going to pick it up? Oh, we go from a pump fake to a picking up of the flag. You do not see that often, so the first down will hold.
Interesting enough. I mean, again, Suarez had his helmet off one way or the other. He's got to go off for a play, but it was him matched up with Andrew Sprague, and I would imagine most of the time Sprague is going to win those battles against anybody unless you're, just an absolute specimen on the other side. So brings up a first down.
Well, you're playing up there in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sprague's going to be next year, 10:55, 10:54, 1st and 10. Rockhurst back in Ray Peck territory. Little razzle-dazzle, flipping it around to Mason Tunley. But he gets stood up, and that was great pursuit. Big number 30. That was Elijah Cook, the 5'10", 175 junior. he covered a lot of ground in a big hurry.
Yeah, certainly did. And, I mean, Lou Wright, again, that guy that you were talking about, came in to help out. Again, it's all about keeping contained on those jet sweep plays, the little, pop passes that we see all the time in the NFL and college football. It's starting to morph down to the high school football game. And Lou Wright was able to keep contained and let the teammates get there.
Bunch formation on the left side. Single back is Ryan. Hansen going to take it himself over to the right side of the 40. Finally pushed out of bounds around the 35-yard line. That should be enough for another Rock first down.
Yeah, it is. And they are targeting. I mean, this is the second time. This is the guy they read on the last scoring drive. It was Elijah Cook, number 30. He's the guy that, again, just made a great play, the 5'10", 175 junior. He's the guy that they're targeting in that speed option. It's a tough thing. Evan Hansen, Aiden Ryan. And that time, Hansen keeps it for the first down.
And you're exactly right. That speed option play, I mean, you've got to be very assignment sound on defense in order to blow that thing up. And as a junior, he hasn't had that many looks at it. Here's Hansen. Fakes handoff. Now he will give the handoff. That's going to 29. That's Pierce Fisher, the 5'11", 170-pound sophomore, seeing his first carry of the game.
And maybe first of his career, too.
That very well could be.
Cameron Slavin was the one that made the tackle. Again, tough one whenever it's your first career carry, possibly. 6'8", 240 pounds staring at you. Throws you down 3 yards into the backfield. So not only is it tough to start at 0 in your career rushing, but -3 now.
2nd and 13, quick huddle. There's Hansen. He's looking downfield. He's got a couple of receivers, pulls it back, checks it down. Flips it out. There was that Miles Carson.
It was. And, the blessing and the curse of being up here in the press box, you're right next to the Rockhurst coaches and the Ray-Pac coaches. Micah Oder was sprinting right down the seam, wide open, and you can hear him through the glass and throw it. And, of course, he could not set his feet. And, unfortunately, that's going to be one in the film room that you're like, hey, you got to set your feet and throw it.
Teachable moment right there. 3rd and 9. Ball's going to be spotted at the 35-yard line of the Panthers.
Down to 5 on the play clock. Yeah.
Taking all their time and finally break the huddle. 3-2. Are they going to get it off? And a timeout for Coach Donahoe. And that's one of those timeouts that coaches generally don't like to have to call.
Yeah, typically not. I mean, Coach Donahoe, in his respect, he does not get overly animated whenever it is a play like that you have to call a timeout. But again, internally, where's the temperature? It's already hot outside.
Right.
He might not be the happiest camper in the world, but nonetheless, they'll have to take the timeout. Big 3rd down, up 7 early.
See the guys getting a water break. And friends, whether it's balls and strikes, fouls, or flags, do you know that your referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics? If you've ever tried your hand at officiating, like my good friend David Trimble up here, you know how hard these men and women work, and you certainly know they would never miss a call intentionally. We're all human. Keep these things in mind as you attend sporting events, regardless of the competition level or age group. After all, respecting others, including officials and authority figures, is one of the most valuable and important lessons that we can teach our kids.
That's right.
This message has been brought to you by your friends right here at A10 Varsity, as well as the Missouri State High School Activities Association. Back to you, 3rd and 9 for the 35. That trip receiver looked to the far side. They haven't gone to it, I think, one time in the first quarter. There's Ryan to the left of Hansen. There's Hansen a quick. He's going to do it himself again. Finds a little hole, scurries to the 30. Gets half of what he needed.
Yeah.
It's going to bring up a manageable 4th down play. And as you pointed out earlier, partner, this is certainly the territory that coach is going to say, yeah, let's go ahead and go for this.
Yeah, 4th and 4, and then you can see the big boys. Coppinger coming in. You see Vince White coming in. So this is heavy package. 4th and 4. They're going to line up in the I formation, maybe shotgun in the pistol, and they are going to hand it to their best player, or arguably one of their best players in Aiden Ryan, and they're going to go mano-a-mano. So let's see. 4 yards to get a first down.
9, 8 seconds, 7, 6 on the play clock. Hansen under center. Ryan dots the I. And is that going to be another timeout? Yeah, there was a whistle before the snap. Let's see who they call it. That's going to be. Now, Coach Martin obviously saw something he did not like. So he pulls out his own charge card, charges a timeout at the 8:36 left of the second mark, and his team down by 7 to the home Hawklets of Rockhurst High. Rockhurst is facing a 4th and 4 from the 30 of the Panthers when they break from this timeout. Gives us a chance to kind of look back the first quarter. The run-pass balance for Rock, 9 runs, 6 passes, and they have a total of 8 first downs in that first quarter alone.
They've been efficient. I mean, Coach Donahoe likes that balance. He's, dare I say it, Jason Garrett type, where he likes it being right down the middle. If it's not right down the middle, he's like,
Fair.
okay, I'm being one-sided.
Right.
And so in that way, 9-6, it's pretty close for him. Typically, he'll run the ball more in high school football, but they're doing an efficient job right now. 8 first downs is huge. That Ray-Peck defense got to be tired, too.
9-6 ratio, as opposed to Ray-Peck, 10 runs, 1 pass in that first, accounting for 5 first downs. But here we go, big 4th down play, 4th and 4 from the 30. Hansen to the right is Ryan, twin receivers to the top. 2 tight ends in the game. A little razzle-dazzle reverse, it is. He's got the first down and a little bit more to the 20. Look at him, cut back. He's still on his feet. He will not go down. He can weeble, he can wobble, but he won't fall down. He finally gets tripped up around the 16-yard line. I'd add that one to the highlight reel for that young man.
So, yeah, Mason Tunley, he was lined up at the top of the screen, and then they just had all the big bodies in. They fake the reverse, and then they give the reverse. I mean, and then at that point, it's just pure athleticism. He's spinning his way, picks up a couple extra, but again, they're trusting Mason Tunley on a 4th down with a reverse. Coach Donahoe's feeling pretty good.
Coach Switzer always said you can't coach speed, but you also can't coach that wiggle either. Another first down run up the middle all the way down to the 5-yard line. That is Aiden Ryan getting back into it, sees his teammates having all the fun. He says, hey, I can do that too, and he does, all the way down to the 5. First and goal, Rock.
Yeah, I mean, Aiden Ryan he's that guy. He's the 3-year starter at this point. He was, again, not as heavily used his sophomore year, so here he is, 2nd year as a featured back, and he's showing out so far. First game at home of his senior year. Now they're marched down inside the 5, see if they can cap it off.
First and goal from the 5, 7:38, 7:37 left before half. Hansen under center. Hands it off to Ryan. Scoots to his left, rolls to his right, and down close to the goal line. They're going to mark him down around the 2-yard line, maybe 2.5. Going to bring up 2nd and goal from that spot.
Yeah, that's where you get some friendly fire. I mean, Jack Manning, who, again, got blown off the line a little bit at left guard, he gets rolled up on to his own running back, and so trips him up. Prevents the scoring play, but again, good job by that defensive front out of Ray-Peck.
You see Hansen walking over to the sideline and talking to Coach Donahoe on these plays, but he has taken an awful long time. 10-9 on the play clock, 8-7. Still plenty of time. Hansen under center. Top of the eye is Ryan. He's going to roll out as Hansen looking for someone in the end zone and wants to keep it himself. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage. That was one of those plays that could have been a lot worse than it was. But no gain, no loss. Live to fight another day.
Yeah, A.N. Carr there, the one that is, is going to get the TFL. He followed him all the way out there. Could kind of feel that they were going to go to that play action. And then the look just was not there. It was good one-on-one coverage. Everybody's covered. It was nice.
6:21, 3rd and goal from the 3. 12, 11, 10 on the play clock. Plenty of time. Here's Hansen under center. Ryan dots the I. Handoff to Ryan. He goes left this time and into the end zone. Aiden Ryan gets in the scoring thought. Makes it 13-0. Rockhurst over the Panthers of Ray-Peck. 6:05 left before halftime.
I mean, that left side of the offensive line.
My goodness.
Andrew Sprague gets off the line. Vince White lined up there as tight end left. It's just, what can you do? You're over there. They push all the way down and saying, hey, you're outside linebacker versus my running back. Who's going to win? That time, Aiden Ryan wins it.
How about Logan Keither? And for the point after attempt, that looks good from here. The officials concur, and it's 14-0. 6:05 before halftime. Rockhurst with a 14-point lead over the visiting Panthers of Ray-Pec. We'll be right back on 810varsity.com.
5:49, 3-yard touchdown run by Aiden Ryan.
Got it. It's a 12-play, 59-yard drive. Took 5:49 off this second quarter clock. Aiden Ryan scoots in from 3 yards out, giving Rockhurst a 14-0 lead. Back to Sean.
Logan Keither set to do the kickoff duties. Let's see if this is a little more fortuitous of a return for the Panthers. And that time, that was a coachable moment. I believe it was the same young, I don't know if it's 82. I can't really tell. But you could tell he was thinking to himself, okay, what did coach just tell me to do? Get away from it if it's going out of bounds.
Yeah, don't touch the football. Don't touch the football.
I don't know if Keith Lur, I beg your pardon. Keith Lur. Not Keith. It's Keith Lur, folks. That is my man, Logan Keith Lur. He wears the number 3, but he's number 1 in our hearts right now.
Nice.
Does a great job. Appreciate the Keith Lur family and their great support of 810 varsity and high school athletics throughout the community.
I'll tell you what, I want to take my hat off to you. We got 45 minutes into the broadcast before you used that line. It seems like everybody loves it, and you know what? To withhold it for 45 minutes is well done.
We are going to be using it again. Let's see, what was the first one I used? I don't know. And I'm surprised that I haven't made another Trey Lance reference. But that's,
No?
You know, we're in the second quarter. I think I'm about due for one.
Yeah, we got time.
35-yard line is where Ray-Pec's going to start. 1st and 10. Oliver, quick pass over the right side, and it's intercepted. Intercepted or returned all the way back to the 26-yard line. That's going to be 1st and 10, Rockhurst.
Tommy Coppinger, the captain, the leader of this defense. I mean, he just read the eyes. Gavin Oliver making that mistake of he is going to his man. He is going to Riddell, that tight end right, the hitch route, completely covered up, threw the ball anyways. I mean, that's where Coppinger, that's his experience, played it beautifully.
And this Rockhurst sideline is fired up. Players, coaches, trainers, a little bit of everybody. They saw Coppinger come over to the sideline, and everybody wanted to get a piece of Mr. Coppinger, and he was fired up. 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. And we are going to have a water break at the 5:58 mark. Left to play in the second quarter. David Trimble, do you remember what I said earlier about 5 minutes ago about the great job that the officials do in this area and really all across the country for high school sports?
I do remember that, Sean.
Well,
yes.
Tonight's game is not only a competitive contest between these two schools, but it's also an educational experience for the students involved. Because high school activities are about learning life values. Your friends here at 810 Varsity and the Missouri State High School Activity Association remind everyone to do their part in keeping our hometown sports a positive experience for everyone. When you attend your next game, do your part to help rekindle the spirit of citizenship by showing good sportsmanship. You'll be teaching a positive lesson to these kids and oftentimes the adults around you. 1st and 10 from the 29 after the interception by Coppinger. Hansen going to roll out to the right again. Plenty of time over the middle. He kind of checked it down. I think that was number 14, Mason Tunley. But again, you talked about Mike Oder a couple of series ago being wide open down the middle. They had another receiver. I think that might have been
Miles Carson.
Was it Miles again? How could you miss that big frame?
I don't know. Again, it's about what does Coach Donahoe want? He wants ball security. Do you take the shot? You could, but
you're up by 14.
Yeah, I mean, do you like a first down gain of 6? Yes, that's Coach Donahoe's game too. So, not bad.
Under center is Hansen. Going to hand off to Ryan. Little zigzag on the middle. He is tripped up. That's big number 7 again, Tanner Franklin. Gives Ryan a little end-over-end greeting.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see, and you don't ever want to discount anybody, but it seems like right now this Ray-Peck defense is just gassed. They just took a water break like 3 minutes ago, and these guys, they have the hands on the hips. It's deep into the second quarter. They're down 2 scores, and it's still stinking hot out. So they've been on the field a lot, and you can tell this Rockhurst offense is feeling great.
The crowd over on the far side hasn't had a lot to cheer about, but certainly a big stop here would go a long way to that, but they're not going to get it done on that play because now they got a 1st and goal behind big number 40. That's Thomas Coppinger. He's getting it done on both sides of the ball, partner.
I mean, Tommy he gets the interception. I think that's what Coach Donahoe was thinking. He's like, I just got this guy an interception. I want to get him a touchdown too. I wouldn't be shocked if they go right back to fullback dive, but you're seeing a kid that is, again, playing both sides of the football and feels great. I mean, again, talking about how do you feel in this heat, he feels great.
Right.
Totally fine.
6'4", 220, senior leadership from the fullback position, Ryan.ci. Hansen gives it off to Ryan, and he might have gotten in. Yes, he does. For the second time tonight, Aiden Ryan punches it in, this time from 3. For the second time tonight from 3 yards out. Puts the Hawklets up by 20 to 0, 4:16 left to play before halftime.
I mean, it's copy and paste, right? Left side of that offensive line plus tight end plus fullback equals an Aiden Ryan touchdown. It's unless Ray-Peck stacks that side and says, we're just going to make you beat us through the air, which they're up 20 now, so it feels good.
Here is Logan, number 3. And that is his 3rd extra point. Successful extra point attempt. Makes it 21-0, 4:16 left before halftime. Rock up big over Ray-Peck. We'll be right back here on A10Varsity.com.
More than 7 decades, Superior Bowen has maintained a reputation for quality, long-lasting work.
All right, back with you here, 21-0, 4:16 left before halftime. So far, it's been all Rockhurst on both sides of the ball. Ryan with his second 3-yard scamper following the Thomas Coppinger interception makes it a 3-score game in favor of Rock.
I mean, if you're Rockhurst right now, coming off a 5-5 year in 2022, this has got to feel so good. Now, if you're Ray-Peck and you're coming off a 6-5 year, this does not feel good in the first half. There's got to be some adjustments at halftime, at least, to get Ray-Peck back on this, a train, get him on the board, right? That's the biggest thing. This offensive possession, you have 4 minutes to go in the first half. You got to be like, let's get 3 first downs. Forget about scoring right now. Let's get 3 first downs, get the momentum flowing, and then let's go get a scoring drive.
Just some sort of positive momentum before they go into the locker room and kind of regroup. Look, make no mistake, everybody kind of knew coming into this game that Rockhurst was going to be loaded on offense. The big question mark was going to be, well, how are they going to match up? How is Ray-Peck going to match up with them? And so far, Yeah, it's been all Rockhurst, but now let's see what this potentially really a high-scoring and explosive offense. But, I guess you got to tip your hat to the defense of Rock.
Yeah, they've done good so far.
Here's Oliver. Hands it off. And they made kind of a chocolate sandwich there, and unfortunately for DeZeph Walker, he was the meat.
Man, that was really good. I mean, on occasion, I just get caught off guard with the call. That was really good. I just enjoyed that. So, I mean, to be fair, he held on to the football. There's the first positive thing, right? The first positive thing. Pick up 3 yards and hold on to the football.
You saw he kind of got up to him. Look, he's 6 foot even, 200 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of muscle there, but at the same time, he's not built like Thomas Coppage.
That's true.
There's Oliver. He's going to go and roll out to the right. He's going to keep it himself. Tuck it and run, but he's not going anywhere. He is tripped up. Maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage at around the 21-yard line. But that's going to bring up third and about 10, about 9. Depending on the spot.
Yeah. I
maybe
mean,
even 11.
Yeah, you go into the film room tomorrow and you see how Jeb Ketting played this. He covered the running back out of the backfield and then makes a play, grabs the leg of Gavin Oliver to drop him for a loss. I mean, I know they don't do helmet stickers here at Rockhurst, but that's one of those plays where it's like, hey, you have been watching film, you understand what these guys do, and that's a pretty good defensive play. It's a 3rd down and 10. It's a pretty big play here for Ray-Pec.
I think we might be talking about a timeout, and that's probably a pretty good opportunity, a good time for Coach Martin to call his second timeout of the half. At the 2:47 mark, they have a big 3rd down play coming up, 3rd and 10 from the 21-yard line. We're going to take a quick break here on 810 Varsity. We'll be right back with more at Rockhurst High. From the 21-yard line, 2:47 left before halftime. Twin receivers to the near side. Single back offset, 2 tight end look. There's Oliver dropping back. He wants to throw. He's got a lot of time. He's got a receiver down the right side. No flag. Did he pull that in? No, incomplete. I think the Ray-Pec sideline was looking for a little bit of yellow hanky to hit the carpet, but they did not get one. Great defensive stand there by the Hawks. The Hawklets.
I mean, they were targeting Gavin Smith. It was a good ball, to be fair. Maybe a touch underthrown by Gavin Oliver. But, again, all things considered, Rockhurst dropped back 8 in coverage. That was the only kind of play that they had. They were taking everything away short. They know they want to go to the tight end. And instead it drops, again, to the Rockhurst turf. You can make the argument there was defensive pass interference, but nothing thrown on that one.
Standing back at his own 8-yard line for 22, Aiden Eggers gets it away. Kind of came off the right side of his foot. That's going to, I think they're going to call that one out around the 45, 46-yard line. Well, he's still walking.
Oof.
My goodness.
Oof.
Okay, let's call it the 37-yard line of Ray-Pec. That's where Rockhurst is going to have it again. Plenty of time to increase their 21-point lead before halftime.
Yeah, this is, I don't know, I guess I would say threat level midnight for all you Office fans out there. If you're Sean Martin right now, you're like 2:30 left, 1 timeout for both squads. Again, this Ray-Pec defense has been on the field what feels like for 3/4 of it, right? 3/4 of the 24 minutes. And they're struggling. I mean, so far, giving up 21 points, the Rockhurst offense could not feel better right now.
So your coach, Donahoe, you're up by 21, 2:31 before halftime.
Yeah.
Are you just going to try to grind it out, or are you just going for the kill?
You got to go for the kill. You don't win state championships by
exactly. Well,
oh, no.
And that's going to determine a lot of it right there. Kind of a loose snap. And oftentimes when you see something like that happen from, a center that's as well established as that's Charlie Gormson, it might have been a little razzle-dazzle play coming up. Like to see if we can see the Rockhurst coaches if they kind of tip their hand a little bit to us. But here in the booth to the right side of us, that's going to bring up second forever. In fact, make it 27. No, they just changed. Second at 28.
Yeah. Now, I'm sorry to cut you off there, Sean. Now that completely changes everything I just said. Now you just hold on to the football.
From their own 45-yard line, two tight end look. Twin receivers to the near side. Hansen, plenty of time, rolls out to his right, fakes the pass. He gets stood up. Now, this is that kind of play, this kind of series, that if Ray-Pec can get a good stand here and force a punt with a couple, maybe minute left before halftime, and, who knows, a little razzle-dazzle, get something going.
Yeah.
Could be just the shot in the arm that they need.
I think we're going to see that third and final timeout for Ray-Pec right now. Just giving them a chance.
Right, because 3rd and 28. Coach Donahoe, you don't think he's going to, he's probably going to keep it on the ground. You want that clock to just keep running, going to the halftime with a 21-point advantage.
Yeah, and you don't want to make anything large out of, a small play like that where Hansen picks up 2 yards. But Elijah Cook did not fall for a pump fake, right? And then he stood up Ethan Hansen and picked him up in front of that sideline and got there's a little bit of all right, first off, I'm angry because it's 21-zip.
Sure.
But let's get something going. That's where you need these juniors like Elijah Cook to step up and say, hey, we need some pride here in the second half. We might not win this game, which is still possible, but we want to win the second half. And so that's where early on in the season where Sean Martin's seeing these leadership qualities, hopefully you saw a little bit there out of Elijah Cook.
This Ray-Pec team scored over 32 points a game, scored over 40 points 5 times last year.
Yeah.
Of course, they lost some playmakers, but, Jaden Doss up at the University of Nebraska now doing great things. But there's a lot of potential on this offense. Whether or not they can gel in time remains to be seen. We're about to see the 3rd and 28 play for Rockhurst. Hansen, he's in trouble and brought down back at his own 27-yard line. You talk about that quarterback swagger. That might have been maybe kind of even things out a little bit for the defense.
Yeah, Jaden Dean is the one that I targeted there, 51 for Ray-Pec. Again, all these momentum plays are going to add up. It might not result in scoring this possession, this final minute of the half, but that's important. He did not bite on the pump fake. He went back and he got a sack. Good for him. The 6'1", 190-pound sophomore making a big play at the end of the first half.
42, 41, 40 seconds ticking away before halftime. Now, this is a stat or a down and distance you don't see too many times. 4th and 45. And now it's going to be 4th and 50 from the 22-yard line. Now, we don't anticipate a fake or for them to go for it, but crazier things have happened.
Yeah, that would be that'd be something.
Right. But, a play like this, the last 2 plays, certainly for Ray-Pec, you just talk, partner, about having some sort of momentum going into the locker room. And, you got to build on something. And you can't ask for much more for the defense outside of possibly forcing a turnover.
Right,
you're sitting them the other way on the field.
Yeah, best case scenario there is that the ball hits the turf. But then, a sack is a good secondary thing.
Vince Jacoby, double deuce, back on his own 11-yard line. Waits for the snap, tries to turn the field over. 33 seconds left.
I'm going to call it here, Sean. I think it's going to be a reverse. If they can get a return.
Oh, no. Reverse the field back into his own end zone. He's got trouble. He's got to get rid of it or go out of the back of the end zone. That is trouble. Somehow he gets it away, but where are they going to mark him down? They are going to mark him down at the 2-yard line. Now, again, we talk about early in the season, partner, and coachable moments. And looking at that on the film, there's going to be a lot learned. On the last 3 plays here, partner, there's going to be a lot of discussion tomorrow morning.
Well, there's not going to be discussion tomorrow morning. There's going to be discussion in about 25 seconds in the locker room.
You know, I beg your pardon, it looked like he was going to mark him down around the 3-yard line. Fortunately, if you're a Rockhurst fan, they're going to move that out to around the 23-yard line. But you just can't ask for much better if you're Ray-Pac. 22 seconds left.
There were multiple times where we thought there was going to be a safety, and then there was going to be some sort of strip sack touchdown, and then he gets the punt away.
Ray-Pac will be beginning the opening kickoff in the end zone. Interception. That is Micah Oder picks it off in his own end zone and thwarts any sort of a offensive chance that the Panthers tried to put together to finish out this half.
Well, let's just call it the most unnecessary toss of the evening. He had 2 guys in the end zone. One was wide open. He threw it to the one on the left. And again, it is, if you've played high school quarterback or even any sort of quarterback, it's so hard. Now that one there was 1 defender, 2 receivers, and it turns into an interception.
It had the feeling to me, partner, of a quarterback trying too hard to make something happen.
Yeah. Again, he had 6 points there. It just he chose left instead of right on that. You can see it. It's tough.
And taking the knee with 12, 11, 10 seconds. Time's going to run out in the first half of the second quarter here at Rockhurst High School. Hawklets are going to go to the locker room with a 21-point lead over the visiting Panthers of Ray-Pac. And you are watching it live only on 810varsity.com.
next, that carryout comes in clutch.
All right, welcome back to Rockhurst High School. Jonathan Plasek, Sean Brewer here. I tell you what, take your hats off to all these guys that do this stuff behind the scenes. He's been working the entire halftime show. We come back, it's Rockhurst 21, it's Ray-Pec 0. It's essentially been one-sided, unfortunately. But Ray-Pec gets the football to start off the second half. And again, it's a new starting quarterback. Gavin Oliver threw an interception that led to a touchdown. Aiden Ryan has 2 touchdowns rushing. Ethan Hansen got the scoring started with a 30-yard scamper to open it up, 7-zip. And then, like I said, 2 Aiden Ryan, 3-yard touchdowns. And we are at 21-0. And I send it back over to my partner, Sean Brewer. Sean, you feeling all right? You need a drink?
You mean another drink is what you meant to say.
Powerade.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Powerade.
Yeah.
I tell you what, partner, we look at the first half and it was all Rockhurst. Yeah, they made a couple of questionable plays at times, but generally speaking, hats off to the Hawklets. Your coach, Sean Martin, on the far sideline. What was your message to your team at halftime?
Well, boys, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. You cannot win this game by a 21-point play. It's going to take play after play to get you down the field, get points, get a stop. Do the same thing over and over and over again. And I know that's maybe too much coach speak, but that's really the only way, because you're down 21. There's no magic potion. You just got to put in the hard work, see if they can do it here in the second half.
My eyes don't deceive me. That is Bo Newbarger, the 5'11", 220-pound junior, doing the kickoff duties. And I don't know whether that was a planned play or not, partner.
I love it. I think it was. I couldn't tell.
I'm spending my time thinking that's a big boy kicking off.
Yeah, I'm going to give Ian Carr, number 32 from Ray-Pec, took one off the chest, and then he covered it up, and it takes a lot of guts. He had Jeb Ketting staring him down, but nonetheless, good field position to start here in the second half for Ray-Pec.
If you look at the last, I know that's not an offensive play per se, but the last 5 offensive plays for Rockhurst haven't been stellar. So here we have the Panthers 1st and 10, handoff, going to go back to their bell cow, and he's going to make him pay to the 40-30, going to be pushed out of bounds. Finally, at the 15-yard line, coming up from way back, that was Dom Yarborough, but not before Zephin Walker scampers all the way down the field, makes Rockhurst pay for that. Well, I guess it was a fake onside attempt to start the second half, and Ray-Pec has to be feeling awful nice about how this second half starting.
I mean, can you imagine if they capitalized the end of the half as well? You hate to bring it back up.
Right.
Hey, you said pregame he has a 4.340. He just ran 44 yards. We'll have to get an unofficial time later.
Another handoff. This goes to the right side. That's number 25. That is Lane Jensen getting his first carry of the afternoon. Lane Jensen, this 5'9", 165-pound senior. In fact, if my math is correct and my stats are correct, that is his second career carry. He had 1 carry last year for 9 yards.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, welcome to the game. You're down 21. Your main back just ran for 44 yards, and now you get the next snap out of the pistol.
And he's dotting the I. Got to be another, now I beg your pardon, it's a little misdirection. And I'm not sure that the receiver was ready for that one, but in and out of the hands, it's going to bring up 3rd and about 9.
I mean, that is it's an interesting play call. It was one of those jailbreak screens. How about this? Javon Arthur was the intended receiver, 5'5", 125 pounds, intended receiver. That would have been something to watch.
Talk about the muscle hamster. Here we go. Let's see what they can do. They've been unsuccessful on 3rd down so far, but 3rd and 9 from the 16-yard line of Rockhurst. Oliver out of the shotgun, takes a step back, delay handoff, gets it over to Walker. Walker kind of darts out of bounds around the 11-yard line, presumably trying to get half of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love the play call. I'm just going to be honest. I don't love it.
Well, a lot of bad things can happen on those delays.
That was an increased delay, too. I mean, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003 handed off.
Go!
Yeah, there was And that Rockhurst defensive line did a good job kind of keeping contained there.
4th and 6. Coach Sean Martin calling in the play from the sideline. Oliver. That's Gavin Oliver out of the pistol. Walker to his right side. Oliver looking to the left, looking to his right. He's in trouble. Got nowhere to go. He's going to have to make something happen with his legs. Kind of a little jump pass. He might have been past the line of scrimmage, but it matters not. And Rockhurst comes up with a big 4th down stop to retain a 21-0 lead with 10:52 left in the third quarter.
I mean, just, again, that Rockhurst defense feels like, hey, they bent a little bit on that drive, but they were not going to break, and they did a good job keeping on 4th down. Again, I don't know, early momentum shift. Maybe if your kicker has the range, you think about that. But again, they went for it on 4th. Rockhurst comes out up 21. Which, by the way, Sean, I want to bring this to you. Number 1 versus number 2 in the 8-10 varsity top 25. Liberty North on top of Lee Summit North right now, 9-7.
9 is just like we thought it was going to be. 9-7. Well, we knew it was going to be close. 1 versus 2. We've got 6 versus 9 right here on 810varsity.com. Here's Hansen looking over the middle, wide open and a little bit in front of him. But boy, Miles Carson had a step and 2 and possibly 3 against his defender.
Yeah, Austin Robinson out there in defense. And first off, I just want to say, why in the world is he wearing long sleeves on the field? Second off,
well done.
Great effort to track down Miles Carson. I think it was just an overthrow to the left there. I mean, he had him. It was a pickup of 30, 35, 40. But good defense, 2nd down and 10.
Evan Hansen, I think he was probably kind of planning the route to the end zone because, Miles Carson, he was going to take long to reach pay dirt. Hansen out of the shotgun. He's going to take it himself. He's been successful with that play, but not that time. The Panthers blow that one up. Maybe he gets back out to around the 9-yard line, but that's going to bring up, 4th and how many is that going to be, partner? About 6 yards.
Yeah. Well, we got a 3rd and 9 first.
3rd and 9 first.
Yeah. But, I mean, hey, foreshadowing maybe.
Right.
We're dabbling in the game a little bit.
Don't want to jinx.
But, okay, so I want to bring to your attention, every time they've done that trips left kind of stack bunch thing, they have done QB draw. At some point, I guarantee it, they will do something that is not QB draw out of that. He's working it into their brains.
3rd and 9 for the 15. Hands it off, up the middle, right up the gut. We haven't seen a lot of that trap up the middle, but that's big old Coppinger. And now here comes the punt team, presumably kicking from deep in their own territory.
Yeah, and that one there was Patrick Martin playing good defense from the defensive tackle position. He kind of filled that A gap. Again, when it's a fullback dive, that's tough. But last time they had some issues on the punt team. Let's see if it happens again or if they've gotten that buttoned up during half.
Patrick Martin, he has been around a lot of the plays. He's one of those players that he's always right there in the play. He probably doesn't have as many tackles on the stat sheets, but certainly, especially on that last play, he's made his presence felt. Gets it away cleanly, fielded around the 45-yard line, right back, fumble, ball's on the turf. Looks like it was recovered back by the Panthers. Fortuitous bounce for the Panthers. They will come back on top of it. They'll have it 1st and 10 from right around midfield. So again, for the second time, great starting field position on their second drive here of this third quarter.
Yeah, Javen Johnson, again, it's tough out there. Everything is sweating. Right. Every single person, including the grandmas in the stands, are sweating tonight. Right. It's so hot. Gave up the football, but able to get back on top of it, which, by the way, that punt team, snap over the head at the end of the half, that one was short. We'll see if that plays a factor later on.
1st and 10 from midfield. Oliver takes a snap. He's got plenty of time. Great protection by his offensive line. He's got a receiver down to the 30. Pushes out of bounds. I beg your pardon. He cuts back around the 19, 18-yard line, gets a few more yards, hands the ball to the official, and Ray-Pec's going to celebrate a huge gain all the way down inside the 20. 1st and 10, Panthers from the 16.
Aiden Eggers, the first time we have seen him get a target tonight. And I tell you what, Oliver, that was on the money, standing tall, put it right on the chest.
His feet were great. They were planted. He didn't have those happy feet, and they're wasting no time. Here's Walker, but right there. My goodness sakes. reach out and grab someone, Miles Carson.
I mean, that's just a beautiful play. How to play the read option. And Jeb Ketting from the backside linebacker position did it beautifully. He took both of them out of the equation. He said, you're not going to pull it because I'll hit you square in the face. And then he just made a diving tackle. It was beautiful.
Back to the original line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10. From the 16, 2 tight end set. Single back is Walker. Man in motion, number 20. That was Alex Stevenson to the right.
He's got
Plenty
him.
of time. He didn't see him. He's going to dart to the sideline. Going to go out of bounds around the 13. Partner, he had an opportunity there in the end zone that, again, you look at it on the replay, and they're going to probably wish they would have taken that shot.
It's kind of it's a large body. His name is Jaden Riddell. He's going to go play at the University of Georgia next year. He was just running along the goal line. Again, it would have been a tougher throw, but go up, let your best player make a play. It's tough.
Get the ball into the hands of your playmakers. And you can kind of tell toward the end of that route, it was a little bit of frustration there. 3 seconds, 2 on the play clock. They do get it off. Oliver, back corner throw.
There you go.
And just like that, partner, touchdown, Panthers.
There's that man. I mean, we literally were just talking, let your best player make a play. That's what they did. A fade ball over to the right side, perfectly thrown. He went up and made a play.
Oliver to Riddell. Now I think I see a little bit of laundry on the turf. Now they're going to bring that one back. Points off of the board. Still remains 21-0. Illegal shift.
Oh, gosh.
What a...
I was like, what did they call? There was 0 offensive pass interference. I went back and watched it. That's, oh, man, that's tough.
You just, look, we're partial up here. We just want a good game, certainly.
Yeah.
But your heart just feels for the team. They executed that perfectly.
Yeah.
And what a fantastic catch out there in the end zone by Riddell.
Yeah, we'll see.
3rd and 13 from the 19. Only lost 3 on that one. Oliver still plenty of time. Great protection by the O-line going right back. You took there once. That one, took one too many shots there. That one a little bit out of bounds. But a great look. Not a bad pass, like you said, partner. Throw it up, trying to make your best player.
Yeah. I mean, that
chance.
original route was a hitch route. And then he saw his quarterback in trouble. He threw his hand in the air. That's the type of guy he is. He wants to make a play for his team. And unfortunately, it's just a little wide on the throw. It's a big one. It's 4th and 13. And, they could have gotten 3 on the last drive. This time it looks like they're going to go for it. They're running behind on the play clock. There's 5 on the play clock. You got to go.
4, 3. Oliver waits for the snap. He is not going to get it off, and there's the flag. That's going to put him back 5 more. Make it 4th and 18 from the 24-yard line.
Man.
And Coach Martin over on the far sideline. He's not pleased.
He is fuming. I mean, and for good reason. I'm watching them break the huddle right here. Again, we're on like a 4 or 5 second delay. You guys are seeing in real time. It was incredibly slow how Dzef and Walker got from the huddle to the bottom of your screen. That's where it cost them 5 yards. Now it's 4th and 18.
And they have to go 4th and 18, 24-yard line. Back to Oliver. He's looking to the right side, looking for Riddell. Instead, he's going over the middle. He had a receiver a little bit too hot, incomplete out of the back of the end zone, and Rockhurst is going to take over on downs from their own 24-yard line, up 21-0 with 7:40 left in the third.
I mean, that was just a simple levels route. You had a 5-yard hitch, you had a 10-yard dig across the middle, and then a 15-yard stretch. And they tried to hit him on the stretch route, just absolutely nowhere to go. Rockhurst defenders in the area. Another turnover on downs. Again, at the absolute worst, Ray-Peck should have 6 points on the board.
And we're going to have an official timeout. Going to send the players to the sideline. Give us a chance to talk about these officials that just called that timeout. As we mentioned earlier, tonight's game is not only a competitive contest between these two schools, but it's also an educational experience for the students involved, because high school activities are about learning life values. Your friends here at 810 Varsity and the Missouri State High School Activities Association remind everyone to do their part in keeping our hometown sports a positive experience for everyone. When you attend your next game, do your part to help rekindle the spirit of citizenship by showing good sportsmanship. You'll be teaching a positive lesson to the kids and oftentimes the adults around you, and you'll be helping to preserve a proud tradition throughout the Midwest. And around these parts, we might not agree with each other all the time, but on the whole, we know how to respect each other's viewpoints with civility and dignity. Speaking of other viewpoints, Jonathan Pulaski, do you know that David Trimble told me he puts mustard on chocolate cake?
What?
I don't agree with that.
On chocolate cake?
Mustard on chocolate cake.
Oh, my gosh. Go ahead, turn up your mic. Tell me why.
Have you guys tried it? That's all I want to know. Don't knock it until you try it.
Dijon, spicy, yellow, what are we talking here?
Now, specifically, it is a German chocolate cake.
So German mustard?
But what mustard?
I go with just the regular yellow mustard.
Wow.
And it adds a certain complexity
Sure.
that not a lot of people can appreciate. I'm not going to lie. It's not for everybody.
Indeed, that's the case. Well, not a lot of or go ahead there, partner.
I think I have two skeptics here, so if we do have the pleasure of working together again,
hopefully we will.
Maybe I'll fix up a nice little cake and bring in some mustard.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. All right, you just do that.
Say
You do that.
I would thoroughly enjoy trying it.
Mustard on chocolate cake.
I will not be I don't think I'll be a believer, but we'll find out. Maybe.
Let's see. We're about to find out what's going to happen on the 2nd and 6 play. There's Hansen again up the middle. Boy, he makes that look easy. He's at midfield. He cuts back. He's at the 30. Quarter, dime, nickel, touchdown. Touchdown, Evan Hansen for the second time tonight.
About 72 yards. That's a pretty good number.
72. He had the 38-yard earlier. Aiden Ryan had a couple of his own.
Yeah.
He says, if Aiden Ryan can do a couple, why can't I?
I mean, Ethan Hansen, like I said pregame, he has looked confident the whole night. They haven't had to go to the air a ton, and he just looks good. 72 yards, gets the job done, and now they're up 4 scores.
And here comes Logan, number 3, on for the extra point, his 4th attempt of the evening. He's been perfect so far. Make it 4 for 4 and make it 28-0. 6:41 left in the third quarter. And partners, I saw Hansen kind of trot out the back of the end zone. It kind of looked like he was grabbing his hammy a little bit. Kind of came up a little bit lane. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as the game progresses. But right now, Rockhurst in control of this one, up by 28. And we'll be right back here on 810varsity.com.
2 plays, 76 yards, time of possession, 59 seconds. Follow Rockhurst Athletics on Twitter at GoHawklets. Again, at GoHawklets. And I guess it's now called X. BB's on-side barbecue located at 85th and Cruise. Proud Rockhurst supporters since 1950. BB's has wanted barbecue and blues right down the street. Come check us out for great food and music at BB's on-side barbecue. Kicking off the Hawklets.
Welcome back to Severino Field. Jonathan Pulaski, Sean Brewer alongside with you. Some updates from around the area. The number 1 versus the number 2 teams in the 8-10 varsity top 25. 13-9 at Lee Summit North over Liberty North. A couple other ones from around the area. Blue Springs on top of Staley 20-14. And Fort Osage on top of Grand Valley 21-13.
Now that could have been trouble. It looks like the Panthers came up with that one. Now, I kind of look like, was he kind of waving for a fair catch? I'm not really sure, because that had quite the arch to it.
I thought so. Again, I was kind of looking up and down from the screen, and sorry to step on top of the call. He did not wave his hand all the way up in the air. Based upon, and thank you to Casey for the great cam work, he did not wave his hand in the air. So we can put that one to rest. A couple more from around the areas real quick here, Sean, is Lee Summit on top of Blue Springs South, 14-6. And,
well, that was...
yeah, we have a timeout.
We do have a timeout, so partner, if you, whatever scores you have there, sure love to hear them all.
Yeah, let's go down the list here. Park Hill on top of Battle, 21-6. You have Rockbridge and Park Hill South tied up at 10 apiece. Like I said, Fort Osage on top of Green Valley, 21-13 out in the valley. North Kansas City is tied up with Hickman from Columbia. And then you have a couple more here. Smithville coming out strong against Raytown, 35-0.
Tough team.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, especially early on, it's just an incredibly tough team. And then, like I said, here, 21-0 Rockhurst, 14-6 Lee Summit on top of Blue Springs South. Liberty on top of Lee Summit West, 10-0. Like I said, we'll keep you posted on Lee Summit North, up 13-9 on Liberty North.
And Jonathan Plasek, we've got David Trimble here, or should we just call him Mr. Mustard? He's going to be rolling off some Kansas football scores.
We are tied up all around. Every single game is tied up. All the teams are undefeated, but that's going to change.
It will next week. Indeed it will.
Yeah, when they start.
When they do, of course. Kansas getting underway next Friday night. Yours truly and David Trimble will be taking our suitcases over to beautiful Shawnee, Kansas for the three-time 5A state champion Mill Valley Jaguars as they open up their season against the 2022 Olathe Northwest Ravens state qualifiers. But right now we've got a kind of a hard count by Gavin Oliver with 8-7 on the play clock. Two tight end set. Man to the right is Zephin Walker. 2-1. They do get it off. Hand it up to Walker. Patient runner. Look at him step back. He zigged and he zagged. Flag on the play.
Yeah, umpire Dan Carpenter threw it from his position late. We'll see what happens.
What do you see on that? I didn't see anything develop from up here.
Came late, maybe with face mask? Yeah.
Good call. That's going to be a first down. Ball was spotted at the 37, or 39 rather. Move it up, 5 yards. That's going to move the chains.
And maybe this isn't the opener Ray-Pec was hoping for. Again, last year these two teams played in week 1, and Ray-Pec got the win 33-26. This is not that game, at least yet. But there's been some bright spots. DeZephin Walker has been pretty much everything that we've wanted to see out of him as a sophomore.
Jaden Riddell did have that touchdown called back. Great catch. But a great job by Gavin Oliver trying to avoid the pressure, but he does not get away. That was big number 33. That was Bo Newberger. Don't you love to see 5'11", 220 pounds. You don't want to get in that young man's way.
I mean, listen, at this point, Coach, unless otherwise noted, is going to start bringing in some backups, right? Coach Donahoe, it's a long season. It's been a long night because it still feels like 92 degrees outside. He's played, a couple snaps. We're seeing one come in the secondary as well. Logan Keithler is coming in at free safety. So we're starting to see some subs come in for the Hawklets.
2nd and 18 from the 37. Oliver has a receiver. Picks up about 3 or 4. Still going to be 3rd and long from around the 41, 42. Well, beg your pardon, right around the 40-yard line.
Again, that's Riddell. Riddell is the guy that if you are going to make a push here in the second half, it has to go through him and Walker. Gavin Oliver, I think at this point, if you're Coach Martin, you just want to see his confidence grow. Again, it's not going to get easier. Next week, Park Hill, at Liberty, at Blue Springs South. This schedule is not easy by any stretch. So if you're Ray-Pec and Gavin Oliver, you need to see some progress tonight.
3rd and 15 for the 40. Oliver steps back. Under pressure again. They are coming for him. He gets rid of it. I know that if you see down here on the near sideline looking for a grounding call, not going to get that. But that, they will.
Oh, no.
I'd like to see the replay on that, partner, as that comes up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that one.
Where was he?
I mean, it's clearly short, but Gage Nelson is all over him. Like, Gage Nelson brought him to the ground, clearly.
I guess he was outside just barely, wasn't he?
I would have thought so. But that is, again, that is a judgment call. Gene Miller, recognized it, looked around, saw that to be the case. Loss of down, so it'll bring up 4th and forever. Sean, I thought you told me earlier in the game 4th and 30-plus yards were a rarity. We've had a couple of them tonight.
For the second time in this contest.
Sheesh.
4th and more than 30, 33 to be precise. Standing at his own 8-yard line, and that one is trouble. And I believe that one got nicked, and the roll coming back is going to be a net loss.
Yeah.
A net loss of about 1 yard, but it was not blocked. It possibly was tipped.
Yeah.
And I see that Aiden Ryan was part of that melee back there as well.
Yeah, Aiden Ryan was the one that got the paw in. He stuck his right hand over. So not only does he have 2 rushing touchdowns on tonight, he has a special teams play where he blocks a punt. And he was shaking his arm, like, visibly, like, ow, that hurt, because he probably took a shin across the forearm, which is probably not something that people typically feel. But, yeah, he's got to be in some pain. But he has 2 touchdowns. He's going to stay on the sideline for this as we see the sophomore come in at running back.
What is the appendage of a Hawkland call? Is that a talon? Is that what it would be? Going back to the back corner throw, no flag, but a good look. Miles Carson, boy, he's a big fella.
Yeah.
6'4", 175. Senior is certainly going to make his presence felt for the rest of this season, as he has so far this evening in this one. 28-0 is your score. More than halfway through the third quarter. It is all Rockhurst, and they are in the red zone. Ball spots right around the 17. The 2nd and 10. 2 tight end look. Full back in the eye. The eyes, that is Aiden Ryan. Ryan gets wrangled for maybe a gain of around 2, but no more.
I've been thinking about your question for about 45 seconds. I think they would just call it a wing.
Gets his wing up there and blocks that. Maybe
I thought about it. I don't, it could be a talon if it's a hand. But if it's the arm, it's a wing.
I think it should be a talon.
Hey, fun fact, birds have hollow bones.
With the handoff. This game's getting away from Ray-Pac, and clearly the folks at home, it's broadcast is getting away from them and us as well. But back at it here.
To be fair, it's hot in the booth.
That's what we're going to go with.
And then there's added pressure. 360 people are watching right now. So now, 359. We just lost somebody.
Right. Well, that was your fault, partner.
Yeah, I know.
That was an
there.
ornithologist who was just disgusted by the discussion about what
well,
the appendage
you see in a hawk, there's a thing with feathers on the. All right.
Well,
back to you, Sean.
But they have feet. So here's Evan Hansen. Takes it back. He's going to roll out to his right. He's got a receiver in the end zone. That's Carson. He can't come up with it, but a good look. He tried to lay out for that one, but great coverage on the backside. I don't think that was Lou Wright. That might have been, maybe Austin Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, you've had some, pretty solid defensive back play tonight out of Ray-Pac. Sorry, watching the replay, Javen Johnson was the one that got over there. But, again, solid defensive back play tonight out of them. Again, not been their night so far, but this brings up 4th down for a field goal.
And here is Logan, number 3, going for his first field goal for 3 points. That kick is up, and it is good. Logan Keithler, responsible for 7 of the 31 points on the board for Rockhurst. And they lead 31-0, 3 minutes left in the third. and we'll be right back. You are watching live Friday Night Football only on 810varsity.com. And welcome back, and we have word from the interwebs that give us a little more information. And what do you have there, Jonathan Plasek?
If you guys did not already Google, the wing of a hawk can just be called a wing, or it can be called a sail.
A sail.
A sail.
That's even better. The sail of the hawklets. Mm-hmm. Sail.
They're sailing right now.
Well done.
Thank
Indeed
you.
They are.
Thank you.
31-0. Throughout this past week, I had an opportunity to visit with a number of Ray-Pec student athletes. And after this kickoff, I'm going to share some of the insights that they shared with me and gave me permission to share with you. And some of the stories of these young men are quite remarkable. Well, that's kind of a high skyline kickoff. Taking it around the 23, push back to the 21, now to the 20, now back to the 19. Going the wrong way on that one, but I think they're going to give him forward progress out to the 21. Thank you very much.
Yeah. What do you got? I love hearing stories and comments from student athletes. So what'd you find out this week?
We talk about Javen Johnson, number one, the big senior defensive back. I ask them all the same questions. Who are some of the athletes in your family? Your favorite football memory, who's the best dancer on the team? These really important questions that people want to know. And Javen Johnson, no surprise here, but he says he's an exceptional swimmer.
Oh.
Now, we heard an announcement earlier over the PA system that the Aquahawks are going to be in action here coming up soon for Rockhurst. But more on Javen Johnson here momentarily. I'm going to tell you about Gavin Oliver. Takes a snap, hands it off. There's the sophomore. Zephan Walker adds to his yardage total. It's about 6 on that one. But Javen Johnson, in addition to being a good or, quite frankly, a remarkable swimmer, he says he wants to play college ball. Not really sure in what sport, but possibly football. He said that the best dancer on the team is Taryn In. More on him in a second. 2nd and 4 from the 27. 2 tight end look. Man to the left is Walker. Walker goes to the right. Kind of you want to say he's kind of a scat back, but I think the way that he's 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
But he kind of crouches.
Yeah.
He kind of sneaks up from behind.
Call that low pads in the biz. Yeah.
Low man wins.
Yeah. And he's fast.
Javen Johnson said that he had surgery on his knee, and that was one of those personal challenges that he's really had to work hard to overcome. And the one word to describe the team this year, he said, is hungry. Hungry. Like I am most days, most hours of the day.
You're thinking about Waffle House right now,
indeed,
aren't you?
yes. Well done. And here's Walker. Running like he's going to Waffle House. Not a sponsor. Should be.
Should be.
Maybe they will be after this.
I hope so.
Love to have an all-star special right about now. And we have a Hawklet down on the field. Training staff's going to come out and take a look at him. Hopefully, well, you don't want to say hopefully on any injury, but hopefully something minor like a cramp.
Yeah.
And he's kind of rolling around like that could be exactly what's going on. But that's Javen Johnson. Austin Robinson, number 14. He's a junior strong safety. He's also part of the basketball, baseball, and track and field teams. He's got a half-sister, he says. He wants to play football in college. He says his sister's in the theater program, Ray-Pec. He says that the best dancer on the team is DBU. Now, I'm not exactly sure who that is. but I think some answers from the others that we see, or we're going to hear about a little bit later, give us a little more insight. He said that his favorite football memory was winning 3 chips in a row in Little League. And he said a personal challenge has been having to grow up fast last year, being a sophomore playing on the varsity team. And he said that his heroes are his parents because, and I quote, "I wouldn't be where I am today without them."
Nice.
Well said, Austin Robinson.
Love that.
Next up, we're going to have Gavin Oliver tell him a little bit about, or tell all of you a little bit about him. But right now, we're going to see him. Did that hit the? Wow. How did he come through so fast?
Jeb Ketting, he's that guy. He just knows how to play that play.
Grief.
Just don't try it on him. Period. It's the second time that's happened.
But it just stopped. It truly was like a brick wall. There was no more wiggle, nothing. He just stopped.
Yeah.
3rd and 6 from the 42. Final minute of the third quarter. Gavin Oliver, senior quarterback. He said he's a cold hopper. And I have no idea what a cold hopper is.
What is that?
Well, I'm asking for some help from David Trimble. A cold hopper. Trips to the far side. Oliver again, plenty of time. A little out in the flat. And short gain. I think they're going to say he was brought down inbounds. Clock's going to run. But that will bring up 4th down. Ray-Pec down by 31. And how bad would these Hawklets love to have a shutout?
Yeah.
They were okay on defense last year, but certainly that was an area that Coach Donu said that they look to improve on this year. And, coming in and holding the number 9 team in the 8-10 varsity top 25 to no points after 3 quarters of play, I'd say they're off on the right foot.
Indeed.
And that's going to do it for the first 3 quarters. 31-0, still your score. Rockhurst over the visiting Panthers of Raymore-Peculiar. You were watching it live. One more quarter for you and some more scoring updates in just a moment.
Thanks again to tonight's title sponsors of Rockhurst football, Harlan Chevrolet, Keepup Quality Moore, and BB's Longside Barbecue. Thank you for your support of Hotwood Athletics. As we begin the fourth quarter, it'll be 4th and 44.
12 minutes remain to settle this one. 31-0. Rockhurst over Ray-Pec. Right now, Ray-Pec in punt formation. Punter back on his 30. The last time out didn't work too well for the Panthers. Micah Oder, fair catch around the 21-yard line. Let's take it over to Jonathan Palasic for some scores and news from around the area.
Yeah, we got, Lee Summit North, the number 1 team in the A10 varsity top 25, is leading Liberty North, the number 2 team, 14-9 right now. Again, at the conclusion, not right now, but at the conclusion of this game, you can check it out on a10varsity.com. The great student broadcast over there has you covered after this one is wrapped up. Liberty on top of Lee Summit West, 10-0. Lee Summit Tigers on top of Blue Springs South, 14-6. Blue Springs, the Wildcats, looking for a bounce-back year, up 27-14 on Staley. And the Battle in the Valley, Fort Osage, up 28-20, a rematch of Class 5 state quarterfinal last year. Back to you, Sean.
1st and 10 from the 22 for Rockhurst. Handed off to the right side. I think that was that Aiden Ryan? I didn't see. I was looking down at my stat sheet. David Trimble, I think he has some stats in the third quarter stats.
Yeah, that was Pierce Fisher, the sophomore, getting some run here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we talked to some of the coaches up here in the press box before the game, and they said that Pierce Fisher, he probably wasn't going to start, but he was going to get plenty of snaps tonight. And with his team up 31-0, now would be a perfect time for some of these underclassmen to get valuable snaps for this year and down the road. There he
There's
is.
a good
you
run.
can see why he's getting those snaps. Pierce Fisher, hello. 5'11", 170-pound sophomore, also plays a little bit of defensive back. Comes big fella, that is Andrew Sprague coming over to the sideline. Looks like he's okay.
Yeah, his night should be done. And we have another Hawkwood slow to get up. You hope it's just cramps at this point.
Coach Donahoe out there to see his signal caller. I think that's number 35, at least by my eyes. That's Liam Daly. Is that 35 there, partner? Is that 33?
That's what I see is 35.
Listed as a linebacker.
Oh, it could be Gus Sorensen. As you
Let's go
know,
with-
in high school you can do double 35s.
Gus
Sorensen is a senior.
You know, we were talking about Gavin Oliver. Let me just finish up with him real quick. He said that one of his personal challenges, and this is Gavin Oliver, the senior quarterback for Ray-Pec, he said, quote, "My grandpa was in bad health, and I just really want for him to get better so he can come to my games." How about that?
Yeah.
Nice young man.
Yeah.
1st and 10 from the 39. A little pitch coming around. That is Micah Oder. Late flag coming in. Oder crosses midfield. Brought down around the 43-yard line. In Panther territory while we wait to see what that flag is all about.
Yeah, Oder, tapped his helmet as a head coach. He's been playing a lot on defense tonight. He's gotten some sparing offensive plays, but obviously he's not the type of guy that needs to go both ways for them. They do have some of those, but it looks like a little bit of this run's coming back.
Another coach's son, in addition to Mr. the aforementioned Oder, that is Patrick Martin. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about him here in a moment. Patrick Martin, Coach Sean Martin's son, senior standout for this Panther team. 2022 Academic All-State. Congratulations to Patrick Martin. 1st and 10. 47-yard line. So we got a little bit of everything going on in that play. There might have been a little confusion there, but the linemen they were going left, everybody else going right.
Yeah.
Not sure what that was all about.
2nd and 8, 41.
I think it's 2nd and 8 now from the 41-yard line. So I was saying Patrick Martin, you see him out there on the field, number 33. Get this about Patrick Martin. In high school, if you can speak a little bit of Spanish, that's pretty impressive. Try English, Spanish, and German.
Okay.
And he speaks all three fluently. I'm still trying to speak English fluently.
Yeah, no kidding.
Here's Hansen. That's the 45-yard line. He's a tough runner, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Listen, just real quick on your three languages thing, I think it's impossible to ever master a language. So I think you're doing a great job, even though you were confused at the word juxtaposition earlier. But then the other thing is that tonight it seems like Ethan Hansen has done what exactly all the Rockhurst fans wanted him to do. He took a step up in the offseason, and he seems like he's ready to lead this team. Really, their expectations are deep playoff run, if not a state championship this year.
Timeout on the field. Coach Donahoe is going to bring his crew over to the sideline. I'm glad you brought that up. Speaking with Coach Donahoe earlier this week, he said that this is the first year where they've doubled the number of 1,000-pound members in the weight room in the offseason.
Yeah.
1,000 pounds.
It's a lot of pounds.
David Trimble, what do you think about that?
That would be an awfully big individual.
If you were just lifting one person?
Well, I thought maybe we were just saying that they were 1,000 pounds.
That would be on the television show.
My 1,000-pound life.
Indeed. My life as a Rockhurst lineman.
Now, for those of you that don't know, what, Sean, is a 1,000-pound member? Is that how much they can lift in
Well,
one
it's
go?
the
Is it
combination of
over-
3 lifts.
Okay.
Now, back in the day, let's see, it was the snatch, the squat, the clean. Gosh, what? But now I think it's the clean, the squat, and is it the bench?
Is it the hang snatch?
Is
Snatch,
it?
Snatch, clean, and squat?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, somebody Google.
Dave Trimble, thanks a lot for
So-
putting us on the spot.
Now you guys are
I'll
talking about this
Google it.
like you know everything. Oh yeah, I'm a member of the 1,000-pound
1,000
club.
pounds.
You
I was
have no
impressed.
idea what you're saying.
Well, you can take it up with Coach after, but he was extremely proud, rightfully so.
Oh.
He said that these guys have put in so much effort and so much work, not just during school, but during the summer and on the weekends, refining their craft and getting their bodies in the best shape possible. And certainly it's showing so far. Mason Tunley. It's an out beyond the 45.
All right. So sorry, Sean. I got your 3 lifts. We were completely wrong.
That is more important than anything that Sean had to say.
The squat,
That's true.
the squat, the bench, and the deadlift.
The dead.
Yeah. People forget about the deadlift because I think a lot of people, the name misconstrues what you're doing. You don't have to be dead to be lifting it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well done. It's kind of like Latin. It's not really a dead lift.
It actually is some say Romanian deadlift.
Romanian.
So those Romanians like deadlifting things.
I had a girlfriend from Romania, and she could have.
Yikes.
Well, that's a whole other deal. 829, 827, 828. 4th and 2. They're going to move those chains after that 4th down play. But let's talk about Patrick Martin. There's more.
Do it.
Would you believe in the infomercial host mannerisms of, but wait, there's more.
Of course.
On Patrick Martin. Speaks fluent English, Spanish, and German. In that order, he says. But he said that his dad, Coach Martin, and we'll tell you more after this play, Hansen rolls out to his right, coming back over the middle. Let's see who we have there.
Vince White.
Vince White, a little bit quiet since the first quarter. Tough, gritty player. But Patrick Martin says that his dad, Coach Martin for APEC, once ate a burger with 10 patties.
Okay.
10 patties. Now, I've only known one patty in my whole life. She was really nice.
Somebody turn off my mic, bro.
And I wonder if those patties were provided by Mark Wansig, who has a son on the Raypec team. He is very big into the barbecue world, Southern Pride Smokers to be exact. And I know that he's out there every single game providing food for them. And maybe he provided the 10 burgers.
Oh, man.
10 patties.
Sean, you
10.
didn't have to do it like that, bro. That was so funny.
10 patties. I'm serious.
You know what I can just
That's a
think?
big burger.
Is it's 3rd down. You know what I can think is Chad's like, I'm never putting these two together.
Oh, we're
again.
done.
I'll say this is the one and only time me and Sean
Right.
ever get to be on a game together.
Yep. Bell has been wrong. Can't put it back in the bottom
But it's
now.
good content, to be
Oh.
fair.
Well, at least we think so.
Yeah. At least
So we
I
go
think-
from 1,200 viewers now to 6, but
Yeah.
no.
I'm going to guess it's gone down a little bit.
Right. Patrick Martin says that the best dancer on the team is Alex Stevenson.
Wow.
Also said that in addition to eating, more on that in a second. Well, they wasted no time. There's that bunch formation again here, this time on the near side. Well, I think Coach Donahoe said, yeah, not exactly what I had in mind. 6:05 left to play, 31-0, Rockhurst over Raypec. But let's get back to my man, Patrick Martin. His dad, of course, as we said, he had a pretty big hamburger. But he was also a state runner-up in wrestling. He said that his mother was an all-state track runner, and his sister attended Syracuse to play softball,
Nice.
where she was a 4-year starter. She said, that's what she said, but
That's what who said.
I have got to believe that family is very competitive. When you have that many high-level athletes like that, I bet a game of Uno has the possibility for a table getting flipped or something happening there.
But funny you should say that. When I asked about his heroes, Patrick Martin said this, and I quote, "My older brother was a trailblazer and allowed me to see what to and not to do." He said, "I actually did recently beat him in a brotherly fight when he drew first blood."
Wow.
And forfeit the fight. So now I am the household champion. So you're exactly spot on there, my friend. Competitive household indeed. Good enough for a first down on that 4th and 2. Patrick Martin said that he's going to attend the University of Missouri to get a degree in aerospace or computer engineering. So clearly an underachiever.
Yeah.
Patrick Martin said, of course, all in fun. And the last thing about Patrick Martin, when I asked about a personal challenge, he said, quote, "My father's the coach, so he trains me harder than the other players, so he said, I don't have any free passes."
Wow.
He goes on to say, "For events that actually matter, the McRib going on and off the menu so often has been a source of turmoil in my life."
Wow.
The McRib.
Oh, ball's out.
Right there. Is that going to be a scoop? No score, but it looks like Panthers going to come out on top of it.
Yeah, Tanner Franklin able to scoop that one up, get to midfield. Hey, listen, the shutout is not over. They still got to hold on for 5 minutes and 19 seconds. Ray-Peck, here's your chance. Got to go get it. 50 yards, staying between you and not having a shutout.
You know, and Coach Martin, he's going to look for anything that he can use to build on as they go into film study, go into practice this next week. Because as you mentioned, their schedule, it doesn't get much easier.
No, it does not. Oof.
Neither does Rockhurst.
No. We'll talk schedule here in a minute.
Grief.
Yeah, tough. Both of them.
Oliver out of the shotgun. Hands it off. This is going to number 25. That is Lane Jensen. 5'9", 165-pound senior. Lane Jensen's going to move the chains.
Yeah.
Nice run. As you look at least at the majority of the numbers that I see out there, partner, the first and maybe a couple of second stringers are on the field for the Hawklets. So, yeah, you know exactly why they're still out there. They are playing for that shutout.
Which you hope that doesn't come back to bite them. But
right.
We'll see. You know, there's a scene in a movie called Friday Night Lights where some of the best players still played in a game where it was a blowout, and you'd hate to see something like that go down.
Ryan.
Okay, hey, just a real quick update. Number 1 is leading number 2, 21-15 in the just getting underway in the 4th quarter. So Lee Summit North on top of Liberty North, 21-15. I mean, a couple other ones that are decent here. Lee Summit on top of Blue Springs South, 14-6. And then just checking it out, it is 42-32 Fort O against Grain Valley. And then Blue Springs on top of Staley, 27-20.
2nd and 5 from the 34. Handoff, left side. Up around the 30, 25, pushed out of bounds. Clock will stop. Just under 4 to play here in regulation.
That was Donovan Guido, which, by the way, fun fact, Guido is one of the characters in Cars. No laughs.
The tire changer.
The tire guy. Yeah, the tire guy. By the way, I haven't mentioned this one tonight, and this is a big one, at least as far as the 8-10 predictor goes. Platte County against Kearney, 21-10, Platte County on top.
Well done. We'll scat out to the 20-yard line, pushed out of bounds again. Gain of about 7 yards. You hear the student section on the far side for Ray-Peck. You'd love to see that. Look, 3:40 left in this contest. Their team's down by 31 points to Rockhurst.
Yeah.
And the cheerleaders are still cheering. The students are still having fun over there.
Yeah.
I tell you, I mean, this experience for these youngsters over there, it truly is. And I know it's kind of an overused term, but it is what it's all about when you're in high school, being able to experience things just like this.
Indeed. Oof, big hit.
Oh, my. That is number 43.
Man,
Have yourself a game, young man.
he hits so hard. I mean, he is.
Just stops.
It's so difficult. It's 6'1", 190, and he's a junior, folks. So he's going to come back and play another year for Rockhurst. I would not be shocked if he is one of those guys that gets Division I looks over the next throughout the season. He's just a good defender, right in that middle.
Junior. Here's Oliver. A little miscommunication. He's going to keep it himself. He's going to get stood up. That'll bring up 4th and about 4, 3 or 4. See that good sportsmanship. That was Jeb Ketting down there extending the arm, helping up his opponent. Opponent didn't want his help.
No.
You understand that?
Yeah.
Good on you, young man. 2:37, 2:36 left to go here. Severino Field, Rockhurst High School. Beautiful Kansas City, Missouri. Sean Brewer, Jonathan Pulasic, and David Trimble. Ooh, coming through the line. Can't quite get there. Gonna run out of bounds. But he might have. Boy, he kind of hit the ground hard, too. He laid out. Who was that? Well, of course, why do we even question who it was?
Yeah. Jeb Ketting?
Yes, it absolutely was.
He blew that up in the middle, and then, at this point, it's survival. It's 31 zip. Not a lot you can do about it. Runs out of bounds, saves it for another week. Which, speaking of, next week, they get their home opener against Park Hill, does Ray-Pec. And then they got to go on the road at Liberty, at Blue Springs South, and then Blue Valley North, and at Lee Summit North to wrap up September. Tough month.
Where's the gimme in that schedule?
Yeah, it's
Blue Valley North with a new coach.
Very tough.
Drew Hudgens coming over from Mill Valley to take control of that program. He's going to have them back on top in no time. And back to moving the chains again, just a little bit shy, about a yard shy. Pickup of 9 on that first down carry.
So Van Pham is a man that I mispronounced name last year. I got it right this time. I waited for the PA announcer to say it. Congratulations on that carry as he heads to the sideline. I mean, there's no layup in that schedule. And then you look at Rockhurst, and it's like you're at Blue Springs South next week, which it looks like right now they're going to be off of a loss, but that'll be South's home opener. Then Liberty North, right now number 2. At Bentonville, you got to go to Arkansas.
One of the best teams in Arkansas.
Yeah. And in Class 7A, which came up here and absolutely swamped them last year. I sat here and watched them get absolutely trounced against Bentonville. Home against Bishop Miege for the Catholic Clash. At St. Thomas Aquinas. At Blue Springs, who looks like they're going to squeak out a win tonight against Staley. And then has to host St. Louis University High School to wrap it up. It's a tough schedule.
If they can come out of that with, 1, maybe 2 losses, you have to consider that just an incredible accomplishment.
Yeah, I don't count Bentonville. I mean, Bentonville's it's a tough game. You got to go on the road. I would not count that one towards any sort of rankings or feelings about how you feel in the state of Missouri. Bentonville is a force in Arkansas, and you just can't get any feel off it. But the rest of them on here, both schedules incredibly tough.
As we have about a minute left on the the game clock, 1 minute, 59 seconds. I can tell you that this game has been another production of 810 Varsity and 810varsity.com, your home for high school sports across the entire region. You can visit 810 Varsity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's right, David Trimble, 7 days a week.
What?
To get the latest news on your favorite teams, check out player stats and so much more. Always a big thank you to everyone back at 810 Varsity, including Nolan and Chad Rader, Reese Rader, Lyndon, Christian Roth, Linda Trimble, Emma Ward, and everyone back at the 810 Varsity Mothership. Jonathan will be back at it again next Friday.
Yeah. At Blue Springs South.
At Blue Springs South, indeed.
Yes. Rockhurst at South.
David Trimble and I will be going over to Shawnee, Kansas for a little Mill Valley Jaguar versus Olathe Northwest Raven action. Both of those games are going to be featured right here live and only on 810varsity.com. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. That's going to wrap it up for us right here from Rockhurst High. Rockhurst pitches the shutout, 31-0 over the Panthers of Ray-Pec. Rockhurst improves to 1-0, which means that Ray-Pec falls to 0-1. For the first time in Terry Donahue's career here at Rockhurst High, he defeats the 2020 state champion Ray-Pec Panthers. Jonathan?
Yeah.
As you look forward to next week.
Man.
And you were Coach Donahue.
Yeah.
And you're in the locker room or you're in film study tomorrow. What's your message to this team?
Yeah.
To make sure that their heads don't get a little bit too big.
Sure. I mean, this is a rare feeling, right? In his regime here at Rockhurst, they have not had this feeling. Week 1, a blowout win at home is a little different. They're going to walk into school on Monday, and they are going to feel fantastic. Good news is that there's a thing typically that coaches do. Saturday morning, 8 a.m., don't let them feel good. Go stretch out your muscles, get all the lactic acid out. He's going to make them feel like they're 0-1. Hey, there are things we can get better at. There are things that we can do to improve because this is not the goal to beat Ray-Pec. The goal is at the end of the year, can we raise a trophy above our heads and bring it back home?
And, all he has to do is put up that 4th and 55.
Yeah, no kidding.
Down in distance, and that'll get him right. Well, for Jonathan Pulasic and David Trimble, my name's Sean Brewer. Thank you so much for being on this journey with us tonight and opening this 2023 football season once again right here live on 810varsity.com. We will see you next week. As I said, Jonathan will be up at Blue Springs South with Rockhurst. David Trimble and I will be over at Mill Valley High. Catch them both at 7 o'clock, live only on 810varsity.com. Once again, your final score, Rockhurst 31, Ray-Pec 0. We'll see you next time.